All still getting there. I can see one, two, the deep one from the last well. She's putting down, but think about this.
G'day, punters. Welcome back to the MacBet Saturday review show. I'm your host, James Milner, and Tommy Henjak joins me. We're just going to do a couple of these reviews early in the week after the Saturday day of racing, just to get an idea of where the boys' heads are at results-wise and how we played in one of the big races. Tom, good to see you, mate. How you going?
Yeah, good, thanks. It was a bit of a strip on Saturday at the Gold Coast, but lucky we got something at, I think it was Gatton. So
Yep, we dropped 7.5 units at the Gold Coast. Like you said, it was Strip City, which was a bit disappointing. But yeah, Gatton, we picked up 3.5 units for the day, which was good. So yeah, stopped some of the bleeding. But overall, Tom, how'd you find that Gold Coast meeting? And how'd you think the track played?
yeah, to be honest, probably handled it pretty poorly. I think we'll probably reference this in the a bit later, but like there was a few of the winners that we definitely could have found, like the Stardome. The winner race 8 had it marked about $10. So obviously let one through there, and the backing Safe Work to beat Zuma California, and Safe Work just not putting his head out the right time in classic Safe Work fashion was a bit sickening as well. But yeah.
Lucky we don't have many metro meetings at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, they're not my favourite, but
yeah,
like in all honesty, I think I probably handled it pretty poorly on the day, but live and learn.
All right, we're going to be doing a review of race 8 at the Gold Coast on Saturday. We had 2 bets in the race. We had 2 units on Matawaki in the morning at $2.80, and we had a half unit on at Wits End, $12. Stardome won the race here, paying 21s.
Yep. So to start off with, this race I was really keen to bet on. It was probably the one I highlighted on the meeting of the races that I did that I was really keen to bet into. On paper, there didn't look a whole lot of speed on paper, so I thought inside gates and horses at position up there on the speed were going to be heavily advantaged. And I just thought at Wits End, he was the wet tracker. He was fifth up. He had a little bit of a spell, and Callow was on board, and thought he would go out and control the race. Unfortunately, when the gates opened, you can see him at the start looking over his right shoulder, looking for a position. So there was no intent to go forward. So that ticket was probably worth absolutely nothing given the tempo. They've gone out 2 lengths slow for the class on paper here. That's Sir Rocket in front. Fatigue and Harrison, she finds the lead. I was always happy to bet against it in Hazard Bro. I thought the race that they came out of at Doomben was a bit ordinary. And Sir Rocket, he was at 1350 for the third time this preparation. I was happy to be against him. I think he's got a chink in his armour. He's had the race run to suit, controlled a slow gallop in front. From all the yard watchers there, he was at his absolute top, and he still hasn't been able to get the job done. So it was half right in my analysis there, but obviously at Wits End was absolute cactus, and the one that we had the real good bet on was Metal Takbi. He just hasn't taken the improvement going from 1200 to 1350 here, even with the slow tempo. On face value, you could probably say he's a bit disappointing. He hasn't improved at all after that Eagle Farm run, but he's a big horse. I know that he's got good wet form on his CV, but at this stage in his career now, I think the soft tracks, he just needs to be stuck on dry tracks. And the rise in distance, second up, I think he just found wanting late. So he's one of my black bookers for the meeting with Tao Takbi. I know he's had a nice run in behind the speed, but I didn't think he had conditions to suit. The winner, Stardome, not sure whether, like, he's gone okay here. We had him rated about half the price of which he started, but I just didn't expect him to be up there on the speed. From all reports from the yard, he actually looks pretty ordinary. So he's done a okay job here. He might be in for a good preparation. Probably second up, I'd probably want to avoid him, see it again, but maybe third or fourth up, we'll see if that form holds up. The other one, Hazard Bro. I know it was 3 wide the trip, but they haven't gone too hard in front here, and it's just had clear air the entire time. I think the margin for him is a little bit flattered, but again, it was a very disappointing result for us. So yeah, just got to learn from this one. Mattel took good prices. Operation was a success, but the patient well and truly died.
All right, that sums up our review of race 8. Tom, what were the two runners you wanted to follow out of that Gold Coast meeting on Saturday?
Yep. So I'm going to follow Mattel Takpi again. I like that he's got the run under his belt now. He was only second up 1200 to 14 there on Saturday. So I think now that he'll be third up wherever he goes, looking for a dry track. He's much better than benchmark 90 grade. He wasn't able to get the job done in unsuitable conditions last start, but I think he can definitely progress as a open grade 1200 to 1400 meter horse up here in Brisbane. The second one's the last winner, Mississippi Prince. It beat a pretty ordinary field for a benchmark 75, but it was a pretty shocking ride by Frad, and it still managed to get the job done on a pretty the sectionals I'm not really trusting, like they don't look right, but I still think there was a lot of merit in the win. I just like how it kept finding after a poor ride by Frad. So those are the two to follow going forward.
All right. And yeah, we've got a massive week ahead of us here in Queensland. We're betting at Doomben on Wednesday, Sunny Coast Friday. We got Toowoomba and Gold Coast Saturday, and Sunshine Coast again Sunday, guys. So if you want to get our information, we'll be betting from the yard at all of those meetings, and early sheets up on the website. So make sure you head to macbet.com.au. Tom, thanks for your time.
Yep, thanks. Looks like it's a good week ahead.